Hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück bei Greedfall. So, wir reisen. Und wir reisen jetzt zum Königspalast. Dann nehmen wir den Wohnsitz natürlich. Und wollen die Gemächer der Kardinalin, wie auch immer, ich sag mal, um Informationen erleichtern. Jetzt gucken wir mal ganz kurz die Quest genauer an, was da drin steht. Kardinalin, wie auch immer. Durchsuche die Räumlichkeiten. Da steht auch nichts drin. Wir werden auf jeden Fall mal zur Sicherheit die Priesterausstattung anziehen. Schlichtweg, weil das möglicherweise ein wenig Schutz bietet. Möglicherweise. Und ich sollte vielleicht auch die Quest tatsächlich dann verfolgen. Dankeschön. So, ich meine, ich weiß, wo ich lang will. Ich würde aber gleichzeitig, ich meine, ich muss hier links kurz einmal noch zum Händler gucken, ob der hier einen Ring für mich verkauft. Ja, ich will aber auch was verkaufen. Den Kavalleriesäbel kannst du haben. Und Fernkampfwaffe ist nichts. Da ist nichts dabei. Die Handschuhe kannst du haben. Und die Inquisitorenstiefel will doch auch keiner. Und dann würde ich ganz gerne was kaufen. Und zwar den Ring, aber nicht für mich, sondern für ihn. Der dürfte dir ordentlichen Boost geben. Wobei, ich habe, glaube ich, einen Ring in meiner Truhe. Ne? War dumm. Egal. Achso, was hat der eigentlich für eine Rüstung an? Ne, hier, dann da, er hat die Priesterrüstung, die alte Thelem-Kriegerrüstung. Okay, und er hat nicht den Ring an. Er kann den Ring nicht tragen, weil er keine mentale Kraft... Dumm! Was hat er denn? Mentale Kraft 3. Ich kriege die nächste erst auf 27. Habe ich einen Ring gekauft? Für 600. Den ich gar nicht brauche. Den ich nicht verwenden kann. Und ich kriege ihn wahrscheinlich nur für einen Bruchteil des Preises wieder verkauft. Das kommt davon, wenn man nicht vernünftig guckt. So, das hier ist aufgebaut wie das Haus in der anderen Stadt, also wie der Gouverneurspalast bei uns. Ich weiß nicht, wahrscheinlich hängen sogar genau die gleichen Bilder. Das bedeutet, dass ich hintenrum nach oben kann, ohne an ihr vorbei zu müssen. Was uns durchaus behilflich sein kann. Das muss ich nur gucken. Hier geht es, glaube ich, nur nach unten. Da gab es auch keine Optionen nach oben. Kann ich... Der 2. Es gab doch aber irgendwo eine... Guck mal, hier haben wir sogar eine Quest. Die Mutter Kardinalin selbst hat eine Quest für uns. Untergeschoss. Okay, es gibt also offensichtlich doch einen Weg. Gucken wir mal ganz kurz.
This area of the palace is forbidden to visitors by order of the Mother Cardinal.
We did not know. Please excuse us.
The basements are for servants only.
Very well. We'll go back up.
Verkleide die Gruppe als Diener. 3 bequeme Westen. Dann komme ich da durch. Aha. Dann gucken wir mal ganz kurz, ob ich die bequemen Westen denn vielleicht rufen kann. Wenn ich die gekauft kriege, ist alles einfach. Ansonsten muss ich wieder zu mir nach Hause und muss die herstellen, weil das kann ich, glaube ich, auch. Rumpel-die-Pumpel-die. Wahrscheinlich ist Herstellen sogar zügiger. Das kann ich ja direkt testen. Hier war, glaube ich, direkt ein Handwerkstisch. Ich möchte also eine Rüstung herstellen. Nein, das ist Rüstung verbessern. Das ist nur verbessern. Hier ist nicht herstellen. Also ich kann keine Rüstung herstellen. Ich kann sie nur verbessern, grundlegend. Gut, das nutzt mir nichts. Und ich glaube, dass ich den Bonus auf dem Attribut auch nur habe, wenn ich den jeweiligen dabei habe, ne? Talent meine ich natürlich. Ja. Habe ich nicht dabei, habe ich gar kein Handwerk. Aber er verkauft hier. Ich möchte kaufen. Ich möchte Rüstungen kaufen. Und dann hier bequeme Weste. Ah, interessant. Hast du direkt 3 Stück. Direkt einmal ausgestattet. Hey. Diese hier.
Goodbye. May the enlightened always keep you in his divine destiny.
Das ist doch jetzt wieder richtig schön Mantel und Degen, ne? Also, kein Degen, aber Mantel. Dreispitze? Da ist kein Dreispitze, oder? Nee, nee, wie heißen die? Weiß ich gar nicht. Federbohr. In seinem Fall wird angezeigt als Erkunderhut. Toll. Vor allen Dingen, ich bin jetzt ein Diener, weil ich eine Weste trage. Das Personal hier vor Ort weiß nicht einmal, wer dazugehört und wer nicht. Aber gut, jetzt dürfen wir uns hier frei bewegen und können den Weg nach oben nehmen. Hier gibt es irgendwo eine Leiter. Wenn ich doch mal wüsste, wo, oder? Bin ich ein bisschen deppert? Ja, ich habe die Gruppe als Diener verkleidet. So, hier war die Bücherei heraus, ne? Ist blockt. Ich komme nicht durch. Das hier sind einfach nur Kammern. Das ist. Ah, ich glaube an der Treppe selbst waren. Oder? War eine Leiter. Irgendwo war eine Leiter. Na gut, ich sehe aus wie ein Diener. Das ist schon mal hilfreich. Die Sache ist nur, dass ich jetzt den Weg finden muss. Hier ist auch nix. Ich hatte mich in dem Gouverneurspalast meines Vettern gut umgeguckt. Ah. Hier war's. Ja, toll. Nun gut. Dann haben wir jetzt keine Wahl, oder? Ja, ich habe erstmal keine Wahl. Ich gehe jetzt hier hoch. Und ich gehe an ihr vorbei, hoffentlich.
Ah, Your Excellency. The Enlightened must have sent you. I would like to ask a favor of you.
I'm listening.
As you may be aware, we suspected this island might be the one St. Lucius wrote about.
Did you?
We did, but let me explain. This island was where St. Matthias lived at the end of his life, and where he founded a perfect community. Some time ago, we created a village which we called Eden, following his example. We chose this place as it seemed to be the closest to the one described in the Holy Scriptures. It is a home to a community of converted islanders, accompanied and guided in their budding faith by our theologians. As you can imagine, it is of the utmost importance to us. All the more so because we discovered some tablets there, which were engraved by our founder.
An extraordinary discovery that confirms your suspicions.
I see you understand. Alas, these tablets were stolen, probably by the islanders who still reject our influence. I know that you are generally well accepted by the natives. That is why I was hoping that you could help us to retrieve what belongs to us.
I suppose I could go to Eden and try and retrieve them.
Marvelous. The leader of the community, Father Justinius, will be able to answer your questions. May the Enlightened assist you in this holy quest, Your Excellency.
Okay. Aber nicht jetzt. Hier komme ich hoch. Ich möchte erst noch ein paar dreckige Informationen über dich erfahren. So unauffällig wieder die Türen aufmachen, ne? Eure Eminenz, wir haben den Raum im Keller neu arrangiert, ganz wie ihr befohlen habt. Der Schaden, den die Gäste der Exzellenz angerichtet haben, war beträchtlich und wir mussten leider die stark verschmutzten Teppiche auswechseln. Ich hoffe, dass die neuen Teppiche nach eurem Geschmack sind. Ich habe mich wie immer darum gekümmert, dass der Schlüssel zum Raum auf eurem Schreibtisch liegt. Oh Mist. Da hilft es uns auch nicht, die Gruppe als Diener verkleidet zu haben, wenn wir in das Büro der Kardinalin müssen. Da hoffe ich mal, dass sie uns da auch reinlassen ohne weiteres. Aber ich bin mal gespannt, was sie da für eine Orgie gefeiert haben. Komme ich denn von hier aus irgendwie? Ich gehe mal hier durch die Tür. Wenn ihr mir jetzt noch 30 Mal einblenden will, dass ich die Gruppe verkleidet habe, ne? Kriege ich da schon wieder ein zu viel. Jedes Mal, wenn ich aus dem Menü rauskomme, hey, du hast die Gruppe verkleidet. Das ist ja gut gemacht. Feine. Na, gucken wir mal. Vielleicht lässt sie mich ja einfach so in ihr Büro marschieren. Für Konstantin hatte ich zumindest einen Schlüssel. Tatsache. So. Palast-Geheimzimmerschlüssel. Ich wollte gerade sagen, die sind aber schnell verschwunden. Sind sie aber gar nicht. So, der Geheimraum im Keller, da weiß ich dann auch schon, welcher das ist. Aber zumindest haben sie ein bisschen was geändert, nämlich die Leiter hier, die ist nicht da. Die wäre ja ansonsten normalerweise da gewesen. Also, um da hinten ranzukommen, hätte ich mich so oder so verkleiden müssen. Ja, vielleicht wäre es auch möglich gewesen, irgendwie zu schleichen. Aber ist ja so gar nicht nötig. So.
Ah, well. This is a very unique place. The smell of stupor and vice reign as its masters.
You're not wrong. We should search this place. For goodness sake! This room reeks of alcohol.
And not just any old alcohol, if my nose does not deceive me. Cornelia always had great taste when it came to drinking.
Sierra, immer ein brennendes Schwert. Huh.
It seems that someone forgot their earring.
Ugh, here is an object of more than questionable taste. A woman from a good family would never wear it. It's junk. The kind of thing a courtesan would wear.
I didn't know you were an expert on the subject, Father.
The subject of jewelry?
No, of courtesans.
We are here at the heart of human depravity. Outrageous luxury, excessively priced alcohol, obvious debauchery.
Surely this is enough to incriminate the Mother Cardinal.
No, my child. These things are common in certain circles, even in Theleme, unfortunately. Cornelia may well have organized these things for others. These parties might be of use in gaining some political favor. We must find out who is involved and learn more.
The earring that we found may help us with that. We could ask at the brothel if it belongs to a prostitute.
We should continue searching. Perhaps we missed something.
Gut, dass wir den Schlüssel haben. Sammeln. Das Geschäftsbuch der Mutter Kardinalin Cornelia. Dieses Geschäftsbuch listet viele Darlehen auf, die von einem Geldverleiher mit dem Namen Die Elster vergeben wurden. Für jede Ausgabe gibt es eine entsprechend eingehende Geldsumme, die diese vollständig ausgleicht. Die Summen sind unglaublich hoch. Es wird jedoch nicht erwähnt, woher das Geld kommt. Es gibt auch viele wiederkehrende Auszahlungen an gewisse Zuckerstange.
This document is highly important. By reading it carefully, you could learn a lot. The Mother Cardinal apparently borrows large amounts of money from a moneylender. Actually, enormous sums.
What's more, she does so quite regularly. How does she manage to give it all back?
And the name Candy Cane crops up several times. Quite suspicious, don't you think?
This sweet person must be doing her huge favors to get these sums. I think we have everything we need. There is probably a connection between these pleasure parties and the account books. Let's ask a few questions.
The moneylender is well established. He can be found near the main square. As for this Candy Cane, the name doesn't ring any bells to me, but the moneylender must know more about him.
We can also go and gather information at the Coin Tavern. Perhaps the manager knows him.
Ja, aber selbstverständlich. Der Manager weiß das. Bei der Zuckerstange würde ich jetzt tippen, handelt es sich auch um einen Freudenspender. Wenn man das so möchte. So. Muss ich jetzt weiterhin verkleidet bleiben? Bleibe ich weiter verkleidet? Ich bleibe weiter verkleidet. Ist ja erstmal wurscht. So, wir gucken mal, was haben wir denn als nächstgelegenes? Das nächstgelegene ist natürlich der Geldverleiher. Ist der hier? Jupp. Dann können wir hier die Prostituierten befragen, den Buchmacher und alles zusammen an einem Ort. Da ist er perfekt. Wir bleiben mal Bleiben wir in dem Outfit? Na, wir bleiben nicht in dem Outfit. Wir wechseln wieder auf das Outfit zurück. Du kriegst wieder deine Speertonika. Und er bekommt seine alte Dilemma-Kriegsrüstung. Dann sind alle wieder glücklich. Und ich hoffe, dass ich dem Inquisitor wie auch immer irgendwann tatsächlich den Kopf abreißen darf. Das wäre schön. So schön, so schön. Naja. Oi, Elster.
Can I help you?
Yes, actually.
Ja, thank you.
I have a small favor to ask.
You don't look like you need money from me.
War ja auch nicht.
I've been sent by the Mother Cardinal. She needs money. You know why.
That's unusual. She usually comes in person. Oh well, business is business after all. What do you want?
She has sent me to find out if she still owes money and to make a little withdrawal.
No debts to settle. Everything is in order, as always. How much does she need? Same as last time?
Yes, that would be perfect.
Excellent. Let her know that the usual conditions apply.
Do you think that will be all right for Candy Cane?
What do you mean for Candy Cane? Good Lord, are you crazy or something? I don't want to know what my clients get up to with their money.
I apologize. I'm not used to this. I thought that...
You think too much. Go and see him. Sort your business out and come back to see me when you know how much she needs.
Very well. Thank you very much.
Okay. But the Candyman can. Yeah, the Candyman can. Gibt es einen kurzen Weg? Na, nur so semi. Keinen richtig kurzen, aber zumindest einen mehr oder weniger direkten. Zack. Und rechts und durch. Vorbei am Haus des Inquisitors Claudius, der bereits das Zeitliche gesegnet hat, zusammen mit seinen Kollegen. So, dann rein in die Groschenschenke. Ist das die Schenke? Ja, ist der Wirt, ist doch schon mal gut.
Can I get you anything? I'm here for something else. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
If you wish. What would you like to know?
What can you tell me about a certain candy cane?
Candy cane. Everyone speaks about him, or has heard of him, but no one really knows him.
And what do they say about him?
Here, nothing. You need to go downstairs for that sort of thing.
To the games room and the brothel?
Yes, that's more the kind of place where they'd talk about him.
You sometimes deliver goods to your big clients, isn't that right?
Of course. The rich don't like to get drunk among mere mortals.
And have you ever supplied anyone from the palace?
Yes, that has happened. It suits them.
And who places these orders?
Well, a steward, of course. Don't you know how things work?
A woman? Dressed in a long green cloak?
No, the steward is more discreet. On the other hand, the person in the big green coat, the steward speaks to her sometimes. They know each other or work together.
Do you think that the Mother Cardinal may have ever been here?
Are you drunk or something?
I have to go. I will leave you to your work.
Da hat immer noch ein Ausrufezeichen. Gehen wir erstmal runter. Wollte ich sowieso hin. Gucken, ob es hier auch so eine Arena gibt. Oh, gibt's nicht. Das ist aber schade. Keine Arena hier. Oh, warte mal. In die Groschenarena? Ist das eine, gucken wir mal, ob das eine andere ist oder ob es die gleiche ist. Das war nämlich das, was mich interessieren würde. Wenn hier nämlich eine eigene Arena ist, dann heißt das, dass in jeder Stadt eine eigene Arena ist. Und das bedeutet...
Ready to excite the crowd?
Ne, das sind nur die 5 Herausforderungen. Gut.
I need to get going.
Die sind über das gesamte Land hier einmal mit dieser Arena verbunden. So läuft das nämlich. Schade. Sonst hätte ich mir nämlich... Entschuldigung. Hier jetzt nochmal die nächsten Herausforderungen rangeholt. Die hätte ich wahrscheinlich auch innerhalb von ein paar Minuten erledigt. Ich weiß gar nicht, was das Maximale im Spiel ist. Auch mit der aktuellen Waffe. Muss da schon ein bisschen was kommen. Und das ist halt einfacher Loot. Ich weiß gar nicht, die erste Waffe hatte ich gezogen aus der Anführerin von denen. Wo ich dachte, oh ja, die aus der Kiste, die ist schon toll. Und dann zweiner. So.
Good day.
Welcome. You here to wager? To fight?
I imagine that the name Candy Cane rings a bell.
Obviously. Even though I would prefer it wasn't the case. He's a sort of... organizer. He captures most of the beasts who fight in the arena.
How is that a problem?
Apparently,
Anders als ich dachte.
a few fights. These kind of rumors aren't good for my business.
If that's the case, why don't you stop him?
He has friends, protectors. Without solid evidence, no one will lift a finger. And the only ones who wanted to speak of his cartel have disappeared.
Do you know where I can find him?
He often hangs out around the port at night, but I strongly advise you to stay away from the guy.
I know how to look after myself. Thanks for the information.
Sehr gut.
Has the Mother Cardinal ever come here to place bets?
The Mother Cardinal? And why not Saint Matthias himself while you're at it?
Okay.
I must be going.
Next time, then.
Kann ich eigentlich selber wetten und so mein Geld verbessern? Das wäre ja mal... Okay, der ist hier unten direkt. Das ist gut.
A feast for the eyes, ladies. So, have you found what you were looking for?
Let's just say that I'm gathering information.
My treasures are worth their price. I promise you that you will get your money's worth. For you, I'm sure we can make a special arrangement.
Father, do you want to explain to this man why we are here?
Of course. We are not here for your services, but to lead an investigation. Several clients of yours have made a complaint. Precious objects disappearing after your employees' visits.
People in very high places are concerned, which explains why we've been asked to take care of it.
This cannot be. Well, listen. Come in, but please be discreet.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Wunderbar. So, jetzt muss ich noch die mit den Ohrringen finden, ja? Es ist nie die erste. Es ist nie die zweite. Es ist diese. Es ist ein Mann. Naja.
Hi. Well, here's someone new. What can I do for you, pretty face?
I wanted to know who this earring belongs to.
Oh, this really isn't my day. Show me, pretty face. Given the way it shines, it must be a piece of junk. It probably belongs to one of the girls. It's really their style. Well, if that's all that you're here for, I'd rather get back to the grind.
Ja, lass dich grinden. Alles gut. Ich halte mich dann doch lieber an die weibliche Klientel.
There are too many of you for me alone, my little lambs.
Sorry, madam, but we're here to ask other favors of you. This question might seem a little surprising, but do you know who this earring might belong to?
Why? It's mine. I lost it when... How did you get hold of it?
Are you sure you want to broach that subject here?
You're right. Come with me. Well, what do you want? Why are you giving me back my earring?
You know where we found it, don't you?
Obviously. I realized as soon as I got back that I'd lost it.
I imagine your pimp does not know that you take part in these parties. He doesn't dabble in this at all?
No. Do not say anything to him, I beg you. He's on my case enough as it is.
Then I suggest you answer my questions.
What would you like to know?
Could you tell us who you saw at the parties?
Rich people, or better. They seemed very rich and important to me. But I don't know them.
Do you know who organizes these parties?
Not really, no. A steward pays me when I go, but I don't see anyone else, apart from the clients.
You can't even give me a single name.
No. The only person who sometimes speaks to this steward is a woman who is always wearing a green coat. She never takes part in the festivities, but the steward rushes over whenever she arrives.
Das muss die Kardinalin sein.
Do you think that an important person from Teleme could have partaken in these soirees?
You're thinking of Mother Cardinal, aren't you? You lot really think we are a bunch of degenerates.
You're hardly a shining example of virtue, my child. Just answer our questions.
Sorry, Father, I don't know the Mother Cardinal, but I strongly doubt she dabbles in that.
You don't think you could recognize her, and you don't think you've crossed paths. What a testimony. Admit it, you must know more than you're letting on. It's virtually impossible not to recognize someone while being so close to these influential people, wouldn't you agree?
Well, I was able to recognize someone once. Even with a mask on, I'm good at recognizing my clients.
Please continue. I'm all ears.
I don't want to implicate anyone, but he is of no real importance, and you've probably never even heard of him. It's the local moneylender.
I know very well who you're referring to, my dear.
But I didn't mention anything to you, huh?
This
okay. Stays between us.
I don't even remember the subject of this conversation anymore. This woman in the green coat, could you tell me about her?
She always hides her face and never joins us. Then she disappears into a little office and locks the door.
I see. She is quite important then.
Die Kardinalin.
Do you know someone who goes by the name of Candy Cane?
Everyone does. He is a powerful person, so his name makes the rounds.
Have you ever spotted him at these pleasure parties?
In all honesty, I wouldn't even be able to recognize him. I've heard his name before, but that's all.
Thank you for your help.
Be sure not to mention this to anyone. I'd lose my clients if they suspected me of speaking about them, you know.
Gut. Das hätten wir dann auch.
May the enlightened bless you.
Dann müssen wir jetzt noch mal zu Elster, nehme ich an. Irgendwas hat hier der Kollege oben noch. Immer zu quatschen. Gucken wir mal.
Can I get you anything?
Look who it is.
I'm looking for a woman who comes here. She always wears a long green coat.
Yes, I have seen this coat before, but I have no idea who is beneath it, if that's what you're asking. All I know is that I've seen her speaking to a regular, a steward of the palace who comes to place big orders. Always prime choice.
I have to go. I will leave you to your work.
Jetzt ist er auch fertig. Jetzt gucken wir mal kurz auf die Karte. Wir haben... Und unten? Wieso haben wir denn jetzt unten noch was? Ja, Kollege.
Good day.
Welcome. You here to wager? To fight?
I'm looking for someone. A woman wearing a big green coat.
Yeah, I know who you mean. She's a good client. She comes in especially for the big fights, and she has prime information.
Do you know where I can find her?
No, I don't even know her name.
She wouldn't happen to be coming back to collect some winnings, would she?
No, and I can't really tell you when she'll show up next.
On what would we be betting?
On the fights in the arena. You never heard of them? Quite a few come here and bet fortune.
And do they win?
A few do. Others have less.
Ich kann gar nicht wetten.
I must be going.
Next time.
So, how do you see things, my child?
I think that the usurer is lending money to the Cardinal, and very significant sums at that. With this money, she bets on the arena fights while hiding in a big green coat. And she also gives large amounts to a certain Candy Cane, known for fixing fights.
Not only does our dear Cornelia love betting games, but she also wouldn't think twice about cheating to win.
Maybe he's just giving her advice. How can we prove anything?
We can always try asking him. Who knows? Perhaps he will give us an answer.
Gut. Zuckerstange ist am Hafen. Das ist auch nicht schwer zu finden. Jetzt will ich gucken, ob ich nochmal... Ne, mit dem Geldverleiher muss ich nicht nochmal quatschen. Ich gehe einfach zum Hafen. Also rechts... geradeaus. Es schwingt das Schwertchen, in Anführungszeichen, wie eine Keule. Das erinnert mich jemand an. Ich glaube, das war der Grund, weshalb ich wieder mit Dark Souls angefangen habe und mir vorgenommen habe, den zweiten Teil jetzt auch endlich mal auf den Kanal zu bringen, nachdem der erste und Bloodborne ja schon drauf sind. Na komm. So nicht, Kollege. Er schießt einfach hier auf meine Freundin. Finde ich nicht gut. Inquisitorenring. Ja, der wird wahrscheinlich Schrott sein. Ich habe keine Ahnung, ob ich hier überhaupt ansatzweise richtig laufe, aber es sieht gut aus. Ah ja, da ist er. Kiste.
Good evening. Are you the one they call Candy Cane?
Who are you?
Desarde, legate of the merchant congregation.
A legate, no less. I imagine in these cases, the one accompanying you is the famous Petrus.
You seem to be very well informed. Therefore, you might be able to answer my question. What do you know about a woman in a green coat?
Why would I tell you?
We know that you have business with this woman, and that she is actually the Mother Cardinal.
How did you... You would be better off forgetting that.
That's not exactly the response I'd imagined. But nevertheless, seems rather eloquent.
I told you to forget about it, or you'll soon run into trouble. Legate or no legate.
Come on, it was just an innocent little conversation. Goodbye, Mr. Kane.
Bye. And Godspeed.
We have enough information.
Really? Is the fact that she bets on fights that are potentially fixed enough for you?
It's already a huge scandal. Let me just think about it for a little while. I will find a way of putting this information to good use.
I have faith in you, Father.
Oh, jetzt ist er schon nett. Ab freundlich kriege ich für ihn dann den Skill. Das hat die gleiche Stufe wie Sioda. Gut. Das heißt, ich muss dann noch eine Quest bei ihm angehen. So, den Ärger in Eden, den schauen wir uns als nächstes an. Dafür müssen wir jetzt irgendwie einen Weg raus aus dieser Stadt hier finden. Ich bin irgendwo von hier gekommen. Dann kann ich auch irgendwo hier lang wieder zurückgehen. Hier sind Tote, das ist schon mal gut. Also, was die Wegfindung angeht zumindest. Dann glaube ich, kann ich hier vorne runter und komme dann irgendwann an meinem Häuschen an. Das ist da vorne und dann kann ich die Reise machen. Hallo. Von euch will keiner irgendwas? Das ist gut. Dann würde ich ganz gerne reisen. Und zwar müssen wir für die Mission in die Schwarzen Lande. Das ist okay. So, auch hier will keiner von euch gerade mit mir quatschen. Ich lege mal die Westen wieder weg. Inventar. So, den kann er immer noch nicht verwenden. Den Inquisitorenring. Oh, könnte aber tatsächlich besser sein. Den hier legen wir aber in die Truhe. Und dann wollte ich ja von hier die bequemen Westen ebenfalls in die Truhe legen. Das nehmen wir alles nach wie vor mit. Und ich möchte, falsche Taste, diese hier, diese dort, jene, ja, da ist der Inquisitorenring tatsächlich schon mal etwas besser. Also nur mal gucken, dass wir auch noch alles dran haben, so dass man Charisma, Schloss knacken und Intuition. Gut, Handwerk, unspannend. Du dürftest immer noch nichts von Interesse haben. Da ich Genauigkeit noch nicht geskillt habe. Können wir jetzt reisen. Der Husten ist ein wenig anstrengend. Ein wenig sehr. Nun gut, so. Auch hier haben wir wieder... Ach du Heilige. Eieieiei. Wieder mal einiges zu entdecken. Aber zuerst einmal sollen wir mit dem Kardinal reden. Admiralin Cabral. Ja, da haben wir tatsächlich sogar Verträge. Die können wir dann auch einmal... Warte mal. Ist das nicht... Das... Nee, ist es nicht. Ich hätte gedacht, das ist vielleicht das Lager, aber es sieht nur genauso aus. Nicht mal. Nester der Jorglands. Nördlich von Eden haben äußerst angriffslustige Jorglands ein Nest aufgebaut. Seid vorsichtig, wenn ihr der Straße nach Nordosten folgen oder in die Büsche gehen wollt. Wer die Nester zerstört, wird belohnt. Könnt euch auf Wunsch Fallen anbieten. Ich appelliere an das gute Herz der Reisenden auf der Straße nach Vedvilvi. Mein Bruder beschloss, ihr zu folgen und kam nie wieder zurück. Wenn einer von euch seine Leiche findet, grabt bitte ein Grab für ihn, damit er in Frieden ruhen kann. Er muss noch seine Geldbörse bei sich haben. Ich würde mich freuen, sie als Belohnung zu überlassen.
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sons. How could their chief accept this?
All that's left to do is to find Father Justinius.
Ja, aber erst das Lager. Dankeschön. Tildop. Dann gehen wir jetzt Häuptling leer. Es gibt einen Häuptling und den Vater. Na gut, mich interessiert der Vater. Der Häuptling hat gerade nichts zu bieten. Oh, er baut eine Kirche. Selbstverständlich baut er eine Kirche. Eieiei. Oh Gott. Hallo Pilger.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I wonder how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. Father.
I'm glad to see you, my child.
Na dann.
Tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vixenagad, which translates to the village of the old sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Matthias, and everything here fit the description of Saint Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthias. That helped to convince them.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So,
Missionare.
there are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedluk, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people. And yet...
Bye-bye.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
Oh, schön, jetzt habe ich auch noch einen Tinnitus auf dem Ohr. So, wir müssen mit dem Häuptling reden und wir müssen hier oben mit den wunderbar Gläubigen reden. Das müsste dort sein. Ja, da meinetwegen unten. Fangen wir an mit ihm.
I am busy. If you have questions,
Ja,
go see Sister.
dann mit ihr.
Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us. Or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to. But I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
Schauen wir uns auf jeden Fall an.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village.
Habt ihr auch
And
gemacht.
there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Habt ihr auch gemacht.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. Thank you. I will let you work.
Dann darf ich jetzt mit ihm reden, ja. Mit der
Greetings,
Beschäftigten.
Desarde. I am handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock
So wie wir auch schon die
was
ganze Zeit
intact.
reinschleichen.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here, and the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter, anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
Oh, geh nach Hause.
You talked about a mission with the natives. What did you mean by that?
I may be under the command of Sister Eugenia here, but my superior is Bishop Domitius. Our mission is to banish pagan cults and convert the entire population to the light. The island belongs to Saint Matthias, and therefore to Ptolemy, since the god of light offered it to our founder.
If your superior's Domitius, you are a member of the Ordo Luminis. I did not expect to find one of its members side by side with the missionaries. They usually do not get along.
The Order goes everywhere the light needs to be revealed.
You have a very unique way of seeing things. I doubt everyone accepts it. How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about Saint Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors, and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. I will leave you to your work. Goodbye.
Gut, dann müssen wir jetzt noch mit dem Chef reden, also mit dem Häuptling, und hier einmal rein.
There is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened. But someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
Ich hasse es, mich instrumentalisieren zu lassen, vor allen Dingen für so einen Kultscheiß. Gut, dass die Händlerkongregation da nicht allzu viel mit am Hut hat. Schlimm, dass ich mich ja jetzt für beschäftigen muss. Aber gut, das lässt sich nun mal nicht ändern. Das gehört zu unseren aktuellen Aufgaben. Und damit haben wir keine andere Wahl. Erstmal muss ich dich beklauen. Das ist Standardritual. So, jetzt kann ich mit dir reden.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader.
Schön, dass sie unterschiedliche Akzente haben, alle auf der Insel.
Desade. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onol Manawi among the Logead Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Na, immerhin.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Thélème, and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them. They were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthäus, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstyrent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men. Perhaps wiser than they are.
Niemals werden die das zugeben.
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, How do you think they will interrogate you?
You're probably right. The Inquisitors would come back, and my people would suffer. I do not want to break the peace that I did all I could to make. I think the name of the woman you are looking for is Vindwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son.
Naja, da haben wir doch schon mal einiges mit Informationen.
Like so many others.
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into 2 parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
Had they been wiser and accepted their new neighbors, they'd never have been forced to leave.
Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur.
Gut, da haben wir schon mal einige Informationen gesammelt. In nächster Folge decken wir dann vielleicht den Rest auf. Ich bedanke mich auf jeden Fall für eure Aufmerksamkeit und sage mal bis dahin. Euer Stöffel.